Standing here in a moment where everything about our lives could change.
Oh, you're not afraid of a little flame, are you?
There's chaos in you. Embrace the chaos.
But wait, what do we do?
Well, try not to get caught for as long as you can. My money's on about 30 minutes.
Oh, the April Fool's Day jokes and gags should be coming so easily today, shouldn't they? But honestly, after last Sunday's Oscar mega banana peel pratfall fiasco, it doesn't seem very much fun anymore, does it? On the other hand, there is a little bit of fun, some intentional, some distinctly not, to be had from some of the newbies on the small screen this week. Today sees the launching of the Stephen Merchant and Elgin James created The Outlaws on Amazon Prime Video, and fellow Britain-based Slow Horses on Apple TV Plus, starring Gary Oldman and Kristen Scott Thomas. Earlier this week, on March 30th, Disney Plus kicked off its latest Marvel series, Moon Knight, with Oscar Isaac in the title role. And yesterday, HBO Max got cooking with Sarah Lancashire as the OG Master Chef herself, Julia Child. So, punchline in there somewhere, which one is the show that you have to watch this week?
I don't know how to explain what's been happening. I can't tell the difference between life and dreams.
Under threat of S.H.I.E.L.D. rendition by Marvel and Disney, if I give away any spoilers, there are really only 3 things that you need to know about Moon Knight right now. 1, playing one of my favorite and sadly underexposed characters from the Marvel Comics, the dark 6-episode series from Jeremy Slater, who had that wonderful and too short resurrection of The Exorcist on Fox a few years back, is an acting masterclass from star Oscar Isaac. From a dim-wit Brit to cold hard mercenary and more, the Dune actor puts it all out there. Also, amidst the Egyptian mythology and Armenian genocide reference, Ethan Hawke was clearly wise in waiting his time before cashing the Disney checks and taking on the role of villain Arthur Harrow in a manner that will make the blood of the most dedicated Hydra agent run ice cold. But point number 3, and here's the hard part, Moon Knight, from the 4 eps that I've seen, literally and figuratively has dissociative identity disorder, and in the battle for coherent narrative at least, infrequently summoning the suit just doesn't cut through that clutter.
At this stage of my life, I want to feel relevant.
My guest this afternoon writes cookbooks. Maybe we'll rename our little program What My Wife's Been Reading. Welcome, Julia Child.
What a lovely introduction.
If you thought Julia Child was only noteworthy nowadays for her French cooking or for being mercilessly mocked over the years, HBO Max's Sarah Lancashire-led Julia from Marvelous Miss Maisel producer Daniel Goldfarb will prove a surprise to your small screen palate. However, take all that with a grain of salt, because this highly stylized Brittany Bradford, David Hyde Pierce, Babe Newworth, and Judith Light co-starring 8-episode entree from the Warner Media streamer is just as much about the by the seat of your skillet early days of public TV and the barriers put there for anyone who wasn't another suited white guy as it is about the French chef host herself. In that sense, with a great performance by Happy Valley alum Lancashire, Julia is so deeply enmeshed in the aesthetic and tone of the Amazon series that it is screaming out for a crossover that sadly will never occur.
You will repay your debt to society by working the number of hours mandated by the court.
Why were you in prison?
It was a misunderstanding.
Grandpa misunderstood that you can't forge signatures on checks.
Among unexpected pairings, let's put it, the union of The Office co-creator Stephen Merchant and Mayans MC co-creator Elgin James might be way up there on the unlikely chart. But the resulting offspring, The Outlaws, is an eminently likable effort. Not breaking any new ground, but displaying how to dexterously handle comedy and thriller tropes with a twist, the 6-episode Outlaws brings a wittily cast Christopher Walken, Merchant himself, and 5 other misfits who nearly perfectly personify a type, and even joke about it, together to do community service for their sins. And chaos breaks out. What makes The Outlaws, which also features some pretty fine turns from Pride vet Jessica Gunning as the group's supervisor, EastEnders alum Nina Wadi, and Richard E. Grant, something to see, is how it all crosses genres into something rather unexpected and yet so disarmingly organic that it feels like Merchant and James have been in cahoots for ages. Also, among other glorious moments, the walk-in-induced group hug scene is a minor classic. Now, no cowbell or watch up the backside section, but a classic nonetheless. Still, as much of a romp as The Outlaws becomes, the show that you really have to watch this week is Slow Horses.
Only screw-ups get sent to Slough House. And I've got to be honest, working with you has been the lowest point in a disappointing career. Right.
Let's throw the dossier down and admit right now that the primary gravitational pull of Apple TV Plus's spy dramedy, which poses as a spy potboiler, Slow Horses, is the darkest hour reunion of sorts, with Gary Oldman and Kristen Scott Thomas. The former Churchill spar as a washed-up MI5 boss babysitting fellow ne'er-well-to-do agents and the agency's high-flying head of operations respectively, which is a sight to see, even over 6 episodes that are sometimes a little too slow for their own material. Nonetheless, based on the best-selling Slough book series, the Will Smith, no, not that Will Smith, penned Slow Horses, is a frequently laugh-out-loud thrill as the failures are forced to become the frontline troops and, well, let's just put it this way. The now Oscar-winning Apple TV Plus has already filmed a 2nd season of Slow Horses, so strap on for the long ride. Because that journey, much more than the destination, is exactly why Slow Horses is the show that you have to watch this week.